everybody. I'm in the Caprice driving back from night shift, first night shift, and I want to do this video. I get a lot of messages, a lot of people, Dave, you don't understand, or you misquoted this or that, you must have meant this other thing. And the reality is no, I didn't misquote anything. I mean exactly what I say all the time. I may have a few little slips here and there, but what I publish is factual, verifiable, and is truthful. Always 100% the truth. Whether people like that or not, I never stray from the truth. This video is important because Canadians, especially Canadians, all walks of life, over and over, they say they're the hard right-leaners, misinformation people, disinformation. Then they're the hard left-leaners. They propagate things that don't have a basis of reality, centralized, heavy in the socialism. Right-leaners, they get into that too in a much different way, and they don't even know they're doing it. And that's what this video is about. This is the great reality check. And I hope this video goes out. I hope it goes to a lot of people. I know it's early hours of the wee morning here. Like I said, I got off night shift. My first one, I'm tired, but the sheer volume of messages I got today on a post, and what people don't understand, and I look at their narratives, I look at their Facebook videos they share, or I kind of start to look at videos people share with me, and they're way off the charts. You might as well say, please, Justin Trudeau, rule me, rape me. Pierre Poilievre, come rule me, rape me, do as you will to me. All the premiers, it doesn't matter. All parties. And then, folks, we get into this idea of new world order, because it's a big one. There is absolutely, and 100% I can say this, nothing new about it. In fact, it's old world order. And when I say old world order, I mean an old world order that existed for many thousands and thousands of years in human history. Relatively new history since Bible came out. When we say Bible, we can say the Christian Bible, Old Testament, the Quran, the Islamic holy text. We could go to the Jewish text, all the same in all those mainstream religions. That Old Testament goes through absolutely old world order. Those religions are born in old world order. All of those religions at a point got hijacked by ruling class dictators. They hijacked those religions, twisted them, even wrote new variations of Bibles to suit their narratives. I know, because I live in a country that is designed entirely that way at the height of the most evilest empire it's ever got. They got so evil, in fact, this old world order, it led to the world's worst wars we've ever seen. World War I and II, that you can't call anything but colonial wars 1 and 2. Folks, that's a reality. They were all empire states. Absolutely empire states. Ruling class dictators destroying mankind. The people of all of those empires that ruled the world with an iron fist had people living the worst humans have ever lived. Class structure, absolute poverty, slavery, all of it. A divine ruling elite at the very top of every one of those governments. Billionaires existed then too, or super multi-millionaires that are equivalent to billionaires today. They existed, folks. They existed, and they worked underneath the ruling class elite governments of these empires. Old world order. This is kings, queens, emperors, divine dictators. Been around for many thousands and thousands of years. Their reign of terror absolutely ended post-World War II. Two countries, Russia and the United States of America, who were already one for nearly 30 years and another for 150 years before that, had transformed into we the people, equality of the people. They became federalisms. They divided power not only in 3 levels of government, but they divided the power base into 2 systems of government in those same 3 narratives. Both Russia and USA did this. Now, one went communist, a republic. Another one went a constitutional republic, a democracy. Okay, a people's democracy. And to find these answers to just how strong these we the people republics were made for all the people in a quality of the person, you go to the regions. For Russia, that is obelisks, 84 of them, and some minor republics. Each and every one of them have, separate from the federal system, all 84 regional constitutions that give regional powers to the governors of which, so that the federal and the regional governments compete for the people's affection. They work for the people. See what I'm saying here? They keep each other in check, working for the people. Works very good. USA did the same thing. Yesterday, for my friend Kelly Knight Craft, she's running this November coming for governor of Kentucky. Did you all know? We talk about old world order and the new world United States of America. Did you know that the original regional constitutions of many of the first states of the USA are older than the United States Constitution itself? One of these, Kentucky, my friend Kelly Knight Craft, running for governor, their constitution, regional state constitution, ratified in 1791, same time as the U.S. Constitution, federally, exact same time. Kentucky was earlier. They were already earlier, like the other 13 colony states. Kentucky got in on this a little bit later, not too far along. Federally, they were still doing conventions for the federal constitution. Kentucky releases its constitution. Did you know men and women weren't listed in that original constitution? None whatsoever. It was we the people, ultimate power of the people, protecting the people in all forms of rights and freedoms with no inhibitions or no executive power to restrict that. None whatsoever. It's a terrific constitution if you've never read it. It's constitutions like that that forced the federal government of the United States forming to adopt those principles of the people. Kentucky remained that way until nearly 100 years later. 100 years later, 1890. And they got an executive change where it was a supersized executive power, bringing in a higher power of governor, higher wages, higher rights to property, everything else. And it's he, his, and all the pronouns. You know, like a lot of Canadian alt-right guys like to talk about, supposed masters in literature, literarians, best of the best on the English language and use of it. Doctorates, right here in Canada, fanatics. And what makes me laugh is a guy like myself who's read every constitution of every government in the entire world, even those that aren't even legal nations. I've read all their constitutions painstakingly, every single one. I moved on to regional constitutions. There aren't even very many doctorates that have done that, because there's so many in at least the 6 real federalisms in the world. Only 6. Only 6. And of course, USA and Russia are 2 of them. 2 of them. With real regional powered constitutions for and by the people, separating these regions from that federal government and executive, restricting their power over the people. Again, it's important as we get into this, because all old world order had none of that. Did you hear me, everybody? None of that. There weren't any. There was never ever any regional powers of any of the old world order, which is what the new world order wants to be. That's a fact. A gross attack on Russia's design, and absolutely a gross attack on USA's design. Why I highlight Kentucky is these pronouns put in a supersized executive power matching the divinity of one country called Canada and its constitution written in 1867. Kentucky had this amendment for governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general of Kentucky in 1890, cemented 1891. 100 years after the we the people, no male pronouns, none whatsoever, in 1791. Kentucky. It's a beautiful constitution. The whole thing is written very, very well for the people of Kentucky, except for the 1891 amendment that matches Canada's. Oh yeah. A power to divine elite set of men who will rule Kentucky. 100 years after they had abolished all that in their state constitution. Should be interesting when I read the history of how that came to pass. Folks, all these narratives, oh, they're trying to kill everybody. The elites want to vaccinate, murder everybody, or they want to take away all the land and murder you, genocide you on a mass level. Well, they do if you don't want to cooperate, if they deem you in this old world order design. Old as old can be, goes back through, again, all these historical biblical texts. Doesn't matter if it's the Quran, the Jewish Bible texts, or the Christian Bible texts, any of them. We'll go through all Old Testament. It's all matching for Muslims, Judeans, Christians. It all matches. All matches. They only destroy the savage people, the people that they can't slave or they need to liquidate. Everybody else, they want you extremely highly populated. That's how they make money. That's how they convince you to work harder for much, much less. That is where the world's going. Not to a new world order. I guess you could say that since 1945. But it's old world order. Nothing new about that. They don't want you dead. They want you slaved, stacked up on each other, because every dollar you make to them in your weakened state, the more people, more money, at least more wealth for them, as they control all the value supply chains, the economies. How do they do that? Well, they do that through your governments, through your constitutions, your highest laws of the lands. They go through your legislators, Canada, that's your provinces, and they go through your federal side, through your parliamentarians. They don't just walk in here and do what they want, folks. They do these things by getting your government to pass the laws against you, the people. You, the people. That's what they do. There's no weird laws. People get into military law, or a big one. I just shook my head the other day on the weekend, and I'm just criminal code. Murder is a crime you get punished for in your criminal codes throughout lots of countries. It's not a different state like, complaint. There's no such thing as a murder complaint. Why I say that is someone was saying to me, these 100 congressmen are being charged for fraud complaint. Oh, fraud complaint, eh? Fraud is a criminal code violation in a lot of countries, passed by parliamentarians and legislators. You know, the people who write the laws, i.e. your government. When someone's telling you a fraud complaint, that's the same as saying a murder complaint. Military law. There's so many laws people come up with that are cockamamie, asinine, and have no basis in any constitutional writings, none whatsoever. And remember, all countries have a constitution. What's a constitution? That is the highest laws of your land. It's your rules of governance, how you're to be governed, and the accountability of your politicians. This is universal throughout the entire world. Not only all 193 UN states, but the rest. In fact, 215 countries of the world. What does that mean? It means there's places like Palestine, northern Greece, you can go on and on to names you've never heard of, that are not recognized countries in the UN, but people live there. They're in dire straits, they're in massive conflict, and yet they still have constitutions. They still have a governance limited, but they too still have constitutions. They still follow said constitutions. Folks, admiralty law, customary law, all these terminologies you come up with, if they're not written into your constitution or mapped out in your constitution of your country, or if you're in a federalism like Canada and only 5 other countries, if it's not codified there, written there, it doesn't apply, folks. It doesn't apply. Our Constitution in Canada has a tremendous amount of customary and codified civil and common law. It's well documented and written in your Canadian Constitution. You will find the customary law of provincial constitutions of all 10 provinces clearly laid out in the Executive Powers Act, which is your Constitution. There were 13 amendments. Look at your territories, your 10 provinces. It's all there. Some overlap each other. Some don't. Some are defined outside with their own, but they're all fundamentally closely similar. All these other cockamamie ideas, these weird narratives, are likely sourced to the 3 federal parties of Canada and all their provincial and territorial counterparts. They're all crowned. They create these narratives, they poison all of you with absolute cockamamie crap. It's done all over the world. Again, old world order. They've been tricking people for thousands and thousands of years. They rewrite historical religions to fit their narratives. Watched it come out of the Dark Ages. Clearly you can look at Anglicans. All out of the monarchy of the United Kingdom. It became very powerful. Catholic Church got corrupted into it. Anglicans got corrupted into it. Lots of religions get corrupted into it. Why? Because of wealth, status, and class. These wealthy tyrants all over the world, these billionaires, come in and get involved in your country. People talk about things like vaccination, polluted by it. These old fucks is what they are. They've garnered wealth. They're in their 70s, 80s, 90s, hunting like Bill Gates, hunting for the fountain of youth. All wealthy elites do it all through history. They chase everything. Folks, they want you vaccinated so that they can protect themselves and thinking they're going to live longer. They're not doing it to kill you. They're doing it to preserve themselves. That's what happens. Because it's usually the old who get sick and go first. That's the nature of the beast. None of us are getting younger. We all realize this by the time usually we hit our 30s. We get into our 40s, we change our lifestyles. 50s, 60s, 70s. You're just trying to get through retirement if you're fortunate enough to get to that stage. These wealthy elites have everything, have all the answers. They make their money off of all of you. They want overpopulation. They make more money. They keep you down so you transfer more wealth. You will find that the higher the population is in the world, the more wealth transfers to that select wealthy elite. It's a fact. One time a millionaire was a big deal. We're working on building trillionaires. How do they do that? Well, by having over 8 billion people in the world. Doesn't look like anybody's getting eradicated. People fall for what the government, people in power, those holding the reins, lead you to believe and lead you into these circles that only lead you down. That's reality. I see it every day. Bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. There's only one truth. An old world order, as old as man's history. It's always the few ruling over the many, and the many suffering. Unless we all codify the power of the people in a true equality, much the same as USA and much the same as the Russian Federation today, and, you know, Switzerland and a few others, we're not going to make it. Canada may be a defined federalism, but they're certainly not a power to the people. It's certainly a corrupted crown autocracy, absolutely a shining example of the old world order, pulling a fast one on the Allies. It's up to us to change it. The United Nations Security Council is busy 24/7, every day, all the time. If you watch their videos, it's always dire straits countries. They come in when the masses react. We need to do that politically. Maybe it'll lead to revolution. I don't subscribe to that. I think in the crown systems, we lose. Not enough people are awoken to it, but I believe the political narrative will work. This is my video. I hope people learn something from it. I hope you start to look at things as they are, start to chase things down. Read your Constitution. Read your provincial Constitution. As shitty as it is, the Executive Powers Act, every province has one. Many of them are the same. There's two provinces with different ones. Start with the Executive Powers Act, name your province, read it. There you'll find the supreme power of your provincial and territorial politicians. Read your Canadian Constitution over and over, through and through, consolidated through all of its enactments. Learn the truth, all of it. Don't just read the charter. That's sad, because it's discounted before and it's thrown away after, thrown back into the hands of those elite politicians. Not George Soros, not Bill Gates, not the rest of the wealthy wackos who only care about wealth and extending their lives forever if they can, no matter how many people they stomp out. They don't care. It's your politicians. You'll find it there. That's the truth. None of this other crap works. None of it. You won't find it in your highest laws of the land. Your highest laws of the land, your constitutions, teach you everything. It shows the corruption. It shows what systems are being used in real law and how. That's the truth. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Good night. Bye now.